Alchemy is the magical power to transform a common material into a substance of great value. The cliché states that photographs are taken, snapped, shot, captured, frozen, are all words used for the creation of a photograph. Yet as the darkrooms disappear, alternative photographers, artists who explore antique and sometimes antiquated photo processes, know that their images are often less taken than made. Your task is to make photographs in this assignment. That is, directly involve yourself in the arrangement, the orchestration, and/or the appearance of your imagery by altering the artifacts before your lens, or in the production of the actual print process. Chemical-based photography is like magic. Anybody who has been in a traditional darkroom and put a blank piece of white paper in an enlarger, exposed that piece of paper to light, and then put it in the developer, and about 15 or 20 seconds later an image starts to appear on that blank piece of paper, knows exactly what I mean. I worked in the darkroom for more than 30 years, and every time an image came up in the developer, I was excited, and it was like magic. I'm asking you in this assignment to essentially be the magician, to stand behind both the making of the photograph by controlling what's in front of the lens. Let me show some examples. The one historic example I have here is Henry Holmes Smith. He made these images by pouring Caro syrup onto a sheet of glass and then doing those as separate exposures with different layers, the dye transfer color print process. Smith taught at the new Bauhaus in Chicago and for many years headed the photography program at Indiana University. His students included Jerry Ullsman, Jack Wellpott, Robert Fichter, and Betty Hahn. All great photographers, and frankly all people I know except for Robert Fichter. These are essentially photograms. He is taking that Caro syrup that he pours on the glass plate, puts that on top of a piece of light-sensitive material, exposes it to light. There's an anthropomorphic quality in his work, anthropomorphism being shapes that suggest lifelike objects. They are generally a combination of several layers, and the dye transfer print process itself generally required that you made yellow, magenta, and cyan layers. So here's a photographer who's manipulating the print as his magic or alchemy. More contemporary photographer, BIM Dawn. He got his BFA at San Jose State University in 2002 and his MFA in photography at Stanford University. He makes what are called chlorophyll prints. They are essentially shrines. Binh Danh is a Vietnamese American. His family immigrated to this country when he was a young child. What these photographs are and the chlorophyll print is he recognized that photosynthesis, the natural process of a plant, is a light-sensitive process. The plant reacts to light. And so through experimentation, he found that keeping a leaf alive, but by putting a negative on it with a long enough exposure where the negative blocked light in some places and allowed light in other places, the plant photosynthesizes where light hits it. And so if you control that process through a negative, he was actually not printing on leaves, but using the photosynthesis process of the leaf itself for the leaf to create the photograph, for the plant to create the photograph on its own leaves. When I said they were shrines, the pictures are generally images from archives of people that were lost during the Khmer Rouge reign in Vietnam. Another contemporary photographer, Robert ParkeHarrison, works with his wife, Shauna. His work can be characterized as a relationship between humans and the environment. You'll see Harrison himself essentially acts out sculptures that he builds in front of the lens. They're also manipulated in Photoshop as well. He wrote, "My photographs tell stories of loss, human struggle, and personal exploration within landscapes scarred by technology and overuse." He often prints in alternative processes as well as silver-based photography. Several of these are from his book, The Architect's Brother. They also characterize a style of photography that A.D. Coleman called the directorial mode. The directorial mode suggests that a photographer, or photographers in this case, like Shauna and Robert ParkeHarrison, create these photographs not unlike the director in a film, where the director controls the scenes but also controls the actors and even the lines and all those kinds of things. Well, a photographer doesn't need to act passively. The photographer can interject their thoughts and move things around and build things to be photographed. So some of these things are constructed purely for the finished photograph. That in essence, you control all of the elements on both sides of the camera. His works are metaphors. They're intentionally thought-provoking. Holly Roberts lives and works in New Mexico. She got her BFA from University of New Mexico and her MFA from Arizona State University. She was born in 1951. Roberts fuses photography with both painting and collage. One critic remarked that her work was guided by her imagination and her emotional responses to the landscape. Her works have a primitive art quality to them, and you can see she collages elements. Sometimes they're simple little pieces here, like those are parts of photographs. The collage element may be more directly seen in this photograph. The wave is a picture of pebbles, probably on a beach. The sail made of another landscape photograph. And even the skipper, the duck, is part of another photograph. Again, collaged together. They're playful and whimsical. She fuses elements of both spirituality and humanity in her work. I love this one. The more you look at it, the more there is to see. American artist Barbara Kasten was trained as a painter. She got her BFA degree from the University of Arizona and her MFA from California College of Arts and Crafts, now California College of Arts. In the 70s, she was doing these large-scale cyanotypes where she was putting fabric and other kinds of sheer material onto coated pieces of cyanotype paper and exposing them to light. They're photograms. You see another one here. She was influenced by Laszlo Moholy-Nagy. one of the Bauhaus teachers, as well as the Institute of Design in Chicago. She's received a Guggenheim Fellowship. Here you can see she's essentially painting with photochemicals using both the cyanotype blue, which you see, but it's perhaps superseded a little bit on this fabric by the Van Dyke brown. In this assignment, you make photographs. You either manipulate the scene through your printing process, or you manipulate the scene in essence in front of your lens.